Good morning, beautiful people. Today is Tuesday, and astrologically speaking, we pretty much have the same aspects as Monday. So, for those who are watching, see Monday and then come back today. But since you're here, let's talk about it. We still have Sun and Mercury in opposition to Chiron, and today, the Moon. So we're feeling what it is that we're getting ready to come into for Wednesday. Today is really ripe with knowing what it is that you have to release in order to move forward and be successful in whatever area, not whatever area, in the Libra area of your house. Of your chart. I've been saying for weeks now, and I'm probably going to be saying for years, that Chiron is in Aries. This is your own personal wound. This is what's being highlighted right now. Hey, ladies. This is what's being highlighted right now. And your interpersonal relationships are going to be highlighting what those wounds are, giving you trigger moments. And it's mostly for you to circumnavigate how to go about engaging with these interpersonal relationships and or situations, with knowing how to go about taking care of self without necessarily undercutting oneself in terms of the relationship itself or the dynamic of itself. Example, if your mother tells you, hey, no disrespect, no nothing, it's just an example, hypothetically speaking. Hey, honey, maybe you should go to the gym a little bit more as far as your weight is concerned. You have a way that you feel about your weight, and you're upset that mom even brung it up. So you've been passive aggressive with mom or anybody that you think happens to say something about your weight. But you feel a certain way about your weight. Are you going to continue to treat these people the way that you show up because you feel a certain type of way about your weight and you bring it up all the time, but somebody else happened to say something about it? People actually navigate this world like that. Is ridiculous to me. Opposed to saying, you know what, this is a real wound and my interpersonal relationships is saying something about it. I'm showing up in these interpersonal relationships in some regard because of it. Maybe I should do something about it. If I do something about it, I will feel better about it. And the way that I show up in my interpersonal relationships will be better because of me taking care of self in this regard. Does that make any sense? Take that scenario and place it where it may be best for you. This might not necessarily go down this way with your mom. It can go that way with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your children, your job. It doesn't matter. Your hobby, the way that you're showing up at the workplace, you name it. I will say moon being in Aries right now, people are going to be a little bit more touchy about how they're going about their emotional state. This is the baby of the zodiac, So know that with the moon coming into its full glory as a full moon tomorrow morning, that knowing that there's something that we need to release for our own benefit. Even if you haven't actively taken the time to release something or done the introspection within self to know what it is that you need to release, you're either going to be on two ends of the stick. You're either going to passively sit there and think that everything is fine and decisions are going to be made for you, and you're going to have to reap the consequences of those decisions, whether you are ready for them or not. Or you can be just like an Aries and decide to steamroll this thing and know exactly what it is that you need to release. That way you can mitigate your path moving forward. Nobody wants the tower. Nobody wants judgment in tarot when it comes to their own self. We want to have things like the Fool, where we take that leap of faith on our own, or the Chariot, where our intuition and our heart and our mind are all in alignment about the direction that we need to go forward. If you don't do what you need to do, Spirit will have its own way of making you do, or pigeonholing you, or putting you on the corner, or blowing things up to make you move, you know. Whew, what else can I say? Today will be a good day for introspection, especially knowing that a lot of the placements in the sky is the same as yesterday. It's like Spirit is trying to put a little pressure here for us to see, you know. I will also say that we still have sun in square to, is it sun in square to Pluto, or is it Pluto square Mars? Well, they're right next to each other. We're still having an issue with power struggles. You know, who has the upper hand, who doesn't? And this won't perfect until between the 26th and the 28th of this month. So it's going to be there for some time, you know. So what does Spirit have to say to us today on this wonderful Mars day? Oof. Moon and Mars is being highlighted today. Aries, don't be overly aggressive, pushy, arrogant, stingy. Did I say selfish? Selfish as well. The lessons and the struggle or the strife that you're running into, or the opposition that you're running into right now, is literally to get you to see something. I will say you can point the finger at a lot of other things, but with this full moon, Spirit is trying to propel us to our destiny and what that looks like. Libra season is about the cosmic scales being balanced. And once that gavel drops, we're going to 4 or 5 days from now, we're going to run into Scorpio season, where we're going to deal with that judgment. It's going to get real ugly, people. It's going to get ugly. Okay, let me stop talking. What's these cards got to say? All right, top of the deck. Ooh, third house. Third house, communication. We're still in shadow phase. Communication in this particular card, what it says thoughts, socializing, communication style, learning, the mind, early education, siblings, interests, short trips, and language. Ooh. Let's put Libra in the third house. That will put Sun, Mercury, and Mars there. When it comes to how we're going about delineating balance when it comes to me and the other, how I'm communicating and expressing myself when it comes between me and the other. We're looking for diplomacy. We're looking for harmony. We're looking for balance and reciprocity in this area, right? Just a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago, we had Mars consuming the sun. It's penetrating the very heart of who we are and the direction in which we need to go. If you didn't have that aha moment about this group of people, this person already, about how it's serving you and how you're how you showing up in the dynamic of these relationships, you're definitely going to get it with this full moon. This full moon, for those who, with the scenario of Libra in the third house, this full moon is going to take place, between your third and your ninth house. Your higher mind is where we need to be paying attention to. Yes, the third house deals with your day today to some regard as well. Our communication style. How are we talking to people? Is it garnering the results that we need to go? In order to get to where we're trying to go, which is somewhere a lot further than what we can see in our natural neighborhood, or what our mind can possibly fathom. We can't possibly figure out the mind of God and what that looks like, but we have to take a leap of faith in order to get there. Or we can stay in our situation exactly where it is and continue to complain and don't do nothing. But unfortunately, Spirit doesn't move that way. He's going to push you. Bottom of the deck, fifth house. Our pleasures. Romance, creativities, fertility, sex, children, childlike fun, joy, love, passion, entertainment, art, culture, and hobbies. Right underneath that is Mars. What is pushing us to prioritize this house? You know, if you hate that job, if you hate this relationship, if you hate this hobby, if you hate these group of people, you hate these friends, whatever the case may be, we've gotten a firm lesson on prioritizing self in Virgo season. Now we're being pulled to the table to actually prioritize what is important to me and is it working? Libra season is literally popping up all the scenarios when it comes to our dynamics in these relationships to see if it's going to work in the schedule and the way that we try to prioritize ourselves in Virgo season. Spirit is putting us to the test. Are you truly going to separate from what you need to when it comes to these interpersonal relationships in order to find your tribe? Whether this is family, friends, co-workers, whomever, your tribe. Because the way that you're going about dealing with these areas in life, if you're still cutting yourself at the knees and you're not dealing with the wounds that these people are addressing, whether they are literally the abusers of your wound, cut them out. Let them go. Drop them off. Regardless of what you think their potential is, what you think that you're gaining from having a relationship or a dynamic in this regard that is bringing up the negativity in you. Let it go. Let it go. And for those who are prying their hands on it and they will not let it go, that's where Spirit needs to put a little dynamite somewhere and blow it up. 14:5. The soul. Passion. Whether you understand what is necessarily falling out of your life or the hard decisions you have to make in order to circumnavigate your soul purpose with these dynamics in our life, with these people, with this job, with the people we love, the people we hate, to how we show up in the neighborhood, how we show up online, whatever the case may be. Change is intimate, period. Change, period. Unexpected change, you name it. For those, when it comes to what I'm saying, a lot of this stuff is just confirmation in what you already know. You know, you've done the introspection. You've already been doing the digging. You've already been observing your situation. You've already got those hints about which direction you need to go next. You already know which people are not for your benefit. Let it go. It makes it so much easier making that leap of faith, opposed to just thinking that you're going to show up with these interpersonal relationships. You're going to wear your own wounds on your sleeve. You're going to continue to behave in a particular way or how you show up in these interpersonal relationships and expect those who have actually been doing the work to deal with your lackluster whatever. No. Everybody's looking for leverage. Everybody's looking for comfort. Everybody's looking for luxury. Everybody's looking for a promotion, more money. If you're going to be a weight and you're going to not take the time to do the introspection in order to see what that is, in order to mitigate it or obliterate it in the way that you're showing up, good luck with that. Good luck with that. You think people out here are diligently doing the work for themselves and have to deal with other people that feel as if they're just entitled? No. No. I say it often. North Node is going into Taurus, and Spirit is literally all year or your whole entire life has been getting you to a point in order to get rid of that what doesn't work, in order to build upon a foundation that is strong. And if you have the wrong people or the wrong situations or position at a job or your hobbies, or even when it comes to how you're dealing with self, is not sturdy, These things are going to be brung up. That way, Spirit can make you prune the ground so you can start building next year. Or for those who are not doing that, you can definitely deal with everything that you have been putting in your personal closet way in the back that you don't want to look at. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. Whether you want to do the work to be great, life will drag you, and eventually you will learn these lessons and you're going to become the person that you need to be. You might not necessarily make it to 100% of that, but you are going to change. That's a guarantee. What does the tarot have to say today? There's one. Ooh. Get your priorities in order. Get your priorities in order. Especially when it comes to these interpersonal relationships, because we are in Libra season. The Emperor in reverse. This feels like, literally in my head, I seen the picture flash. This is Mars, and not Mars. This is Mars in opposition to that Chiron in Aries. Why are your wounds getting in the way of you running your own personal kingdom? Anybody that knows, ooh, Spirit, ew. Literally, Hitler popped up into my head. I saw Hitler. Hitler went on a rampage to take over the world because of his own views, his own ideas, his own way he felt about himself. He wanted to be superior, right? And he took that wound and he literally funneled that energy in order to try to eradicate another set of people. Just imagine if this man was to deal with his own wound and how he would have showed up for the world. He eventually got taken down. He saw a little bit of glory for a little bit, but eventually he fell, right? Same thing with us. You can think that the wound that you are not addressing within yourself is going to always be there and be at the pinnacle with you. No. You can't be an asshole to everybody. And because of the position that you hold, whether you think you have the upper hand or not, be an asshole to everybody and think that you're going to be able to stay in that position for long. That's for anybody. If it's just a husband and wife duo, you think that the other person, the wife can show up this way, the husband can show up this way, and think that somebody's going to live in these conditions and be okay with it. No. Eventually, people are going to cut you out and you're going to be stuck trying to figure it out by yourself with your wound that you will be staring at, because it'll be right there in your face, as big as day. Pay attention to your interpersonal relationships, because they definitely have something to show you. Whether that is time for you to level up the circle of people that you are with, the job environment that you're in, is going to show you. Bottom of the deck. 10 of Wands, because it's a burden. Simple. It is a burden. I literally said this full moon is going to be either step up or step out of the way, because it's totally dynamite. Simple as that. With that being said, that is our daily today. This is literally a day of coming into light of what it is that we need to release for tomorrow. Get ready. Because whatever it is that you decide, you're going to fall on two lines. When I did my astrological weekday report yesterday on YouTube, and when I did my tarot report on YouTube to get a more in-depth analysis of what this full moon is going to bring, it was two groups of people. It was those who have diligently done the work. They've been through shit already and they've seen it, and they're making decisions for themselves and how they want to move forward. They know they have to release some things, and not saying because you've done the work it's going to be easy for you too. No. And then there was the other group of people that were dealing with the consequences of the people that are making decisions for themselves. If I'm 100% and I'm great and I'm working on all full cylinders and I'm tied to you and you haven't been doing the work, the people on the lower end, of course, they're going to continue to do what they're doing because there's a benefit from being connected to you. That's why it's so hard for us to make decisions for ourselves, because we've seen what difficulties and complexities that we have been living within. The more complex the situation or relationship or dynamic that you're in, the more complex it's going to be to cut yourself away from it. The lesson's not any easy. It's not any easier. But if you're on the lower end of that, you're waiting for the judgment and where you stand. And that's a horrible place to be in when you should be mitigating for yourself to begin with. Get ready, because the heat is going to be turned up this year. And it starts with Aries, a cardinal sign. With that being said, take what I said today, consider it, think about it, and be great. Peace out, people.